Roggenkamp girls. I'm Loma Roggenkamp, and I thought I'd jump on and do a snippet on a soup that I'm making up today. My plan is to make this magic soup, which is a type of chicken soup, and I want to end up canning it so we have it on the shelves. So if any of us feel, a little cold coming on, or it's cool out and we want a nice warm soup, we can just pop open a can and have a nice homemade chicken noodle soup if we add a little bit of noodles. So what I have is I have a recipe I'd found online. I will put this in the show notes, but basically it's a whole fryer chicken, really good tasting cold water. You're going to use one parsnip, one turnip, one parsnip, which I just get in these bags from the local produce. There's usually about 3 or 4 of them in it. They're really reasonable. About 4 carrots and one small onion, which I've already cut up. So the beginning is you're going to put the chicken in a stew pot with really rough cut veggies. So a lot of these veggies have really good benefits to them. They're not veggies that we usually eat. A lot of the root ones, when's the last time someone served you parsnips or turnips? It's not something that's in the palate these days, but what I did was I just took the ends off. I did not even go ahead and take the outside off. I did give it a good scrub, but a lot of the nutrients are in the skin. So we're just going to do rough cut of these veggies. And we've got a parsnip here. I don't even know if I knew what a parsnip looked like. Kind of like a very large carrot or a potato in a carrot shape. So I just give it a little bit of freshening up, and I'm going to cut these up really roughly. The reason I do them so rough and such big chunks is the fact that you're going to let this chicken cook in all these items until it starts falling apart. And then you're going to cool this whole thing down, pull out all these vegetables and discard them. And then you're going to pick the meat off the bone. So basically we are making a chicken soup with a bone broth involved already. Then once you have all that meat cut off, you turn around and you put the veggies back in. So the recipe calls for like 2 onions, 2 parsnips, 2 of everything. And that's because half of it's put in originally and the other half is put in later on for your finished soup. I don't traditionally put in noodles when I can it, but you can always add some noodles afterwards. So we've got our turnip cut up. Again, I'm just doing big chunks. This will make it easier for me to pull this stuff out of the broth, long as it's not had any disintegrated into it, which of course the disintegrated into it will give us a meatier, more tasty broth. So I will get these all cut up and I will get the chicken in the stew pot, and I will be back with you and give you some videos of those items in there while they're all cooking up. See you later. Okay, we are back. We are going to go ahead and put everything in our pot. I had forgotten to talk about one item, so I'll make sure I add that one. I just used a heavy bottom stainless steel pot. This one's about the right size because the chicken can fit right in there and I don't have a whole bunch of volume. So what I typically do is take some of these harder, the veggies that were cut up. I put a few in the bottom just to keep the chicken from being right on the bottom of the pot. I go ahead and add my chicken. However it fits in there. I don't really concern about how it's sitting because we're not looking for a moist chicken breast or anything like that. We're going to let this cook all the way down so that we have it falling off the bone. So it doesn't matter where it sits. So we're supposed to put the chicken in, and it says cover in cold, good tasting water. What I have is filtered water here. And again, it doesn't give you a level or an amount because basically it just needs to cover the chicken. So I'll put enough in there so that it covers. And knowing that we have more veggies to put in, I'll go ahead and put a little bit extra. And we'll see how the level is in the end. So that is all my veggies. As you can see, Ooh, getting some air bubbles out of that chicken. So the one items I had missed is the ginger and the garlic. What I have pre-minced up garlic suspended in olive oil that I just take out of a jar out of the fridge, and then I had some ginger left over from the last time I did this. So I cut those up. We're just going to add those. A lot of those items, they have great benefits. They also help break down any of the bone marrow and items in the chicken that are beneficial, and the reason we want to actually do a whole chicken soup. So I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Make sure I've got enough to cover all my veggies, and make sure everything's kind of in there. And we'll get this cooking and let it cook for, I think it says, bring 2 hours, for at least 2 hours. I usually just go until I can see that I can't pull the chicken up, or I put the spoon in and I'm getting just chunks of chicken. So I probably do it a little bit longer. But we'll see how this comes out. I'll check back with you. I just wanted to have you guys check in on what's going on. So obviously our pot is up to boiling. So I'm going to pull the temperature down a little bit so that, sorry for that. Pull the temperature down a little bit and get it at a simmer, because we want to simmer this for 2 hours or until the chicken comes off of the bone. Okay, this has been cooking for quite a while on really low, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. It looks like our chicken is definitely fall apart. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take it off the burner, let it cool a little bit, and then I'll start separating chicken and the veggies. And once the chicken is cooled, I'll start picking the meat off the bones, and we'll go to our next step. Okay, so we are back, and I am going to try to pull the chicken and the veggies out, and that way the chicken can start really cooling a little bit easier when it's out of the broth. So all I've got is a container for my chicken, another glass bowl with a colander or a sieve in it to put the veggies in and let the broth come down. So this is going to be a little bit of fun. We're going to see if we can pull the chicken out that is now fall apart. Hopefully we don't make a huge mess and have to clean it up, you know. So let's see. Oh, there goes one leg. And we got most of it. Big chunk of it. Let's see if I can find that other leg and bring it up. There's a lot of the leg. Looks like I brought some of my veggies in with it. Let's see. There's some carrots and onions along with a piece of a wing. So the rest of it should be mostly just my veggies. So we'll set the chicken aside, bring this over, and we can start. Actually, we can probably pour this out into the colander. And then I'll end up putting the chicken pieces in the broth back in it, and then the new vegetables, and get it cooking again. So we'll see you next.